Hi, I am Wim Ceulemans. I'm the manager of Innovatiesteuntpunt, which is the Flemish Innovation Support Service, or better, the Flemish Innovation Support Center for Agricultural and Rural Development. Many thanks for allowing me to present my organization, and I hope I can provide you with some inspiration on the role an innovation support service can play in your own country. First of all, let me say something about how our organization was born, so to say. Innovatiesteuntpunt was born in 1999, so which means that we already have 20 years of experience on innovation. It was born out of, so to say, the conglomerate or the marriage of Boerenbond, which is the biggest Flemish farmers organization, and Landelijke Gilde, which is a big rural organization. That has as consequences that Innovatiesteuntpunt really is an NGO. So we are not a public organization, we are an NGO. The fact that we are embedded within, for example, Boerenbond means that we have about 15,000 farmers just one mouse click away. And I think that's one of the big assets that we have. We really can directly communicate with most of the farmers in Flanders. 20 years ago, it all started with 2 people. Nowadays, we are lucky to say that we have 30 professionals working day to day on innovation. We have 3 big specialties in our organization. Of course, 20 of those people, the majority, of course, are innovation consultants, which basically is the core business of our organization. But they are supported by 6 project management specialists who are equally important for the way we operate, but I will come back to that later. We also have 3 communication specialists because we think that communication is very important for the things that we do, but I will come back to that later as well. Now let's go through some elements that I think constitute more or less the DNA of our organization. When 20 years ago, Boerenbond and Landelijke Gilde decided to found Innovatiesteuntpunt, they had a very specific role in mind. That role is not to be just another research organization or to be just another consultancy organization. They had a very specific role in mind, and that is to bridge the so-called valley of death of innovation. I guess you all know that picture of the valley of death, where a lot of good ideas pop up whilst doing applied research or pop up in the minds of farmers. But sadly, a lot of those good innovative ideas come to an end prematurely due to the fact that there is not enough connection between research and those entrepreneurs. And that's exactly the role that we want to play. We want to bridge that gap so that research can become more demand-driven on the one side, and on the other side, knowledge coming out of that research can be more easily unlocked so that farmers can really use it on their farm. But nowadays, we take that even further. Using that bridging position, we facilitate multi-actor co-creation because it's more than information going back and forth between researchers and entrepreneurs. There are a lot of other possible stakeholders involved that really can add to the co-creative, to the innovative process. And finally, another role we play is helping to fund funding for those farmers who are basically low entrepreneurs and don't have as much capital to invest in R&D than, for example, bigger companies. But we help to find funding for their innovative investments. And that's another important role to help come to fruition of that innovation. So that's basically what we do. Now let's focus on some other elements. Our mission, for example. As you can see, we have a double target group. Of course, obviously, farmers. They are our main target group. But on top of that, we focus on rural communities as well, because we sincerely believe that rural communities, actually the neighbors of farmers, can be very important allies in helping farmers to innovate, to help them with their social innovation, for example. Vice versa, we are very much convinced that farmers can help rural communities in becoming more vibrant as well, not just through their basic activity of producing food or other stuff, which agriculturists produce, but also in providing other services and in helping them with their own assets that they have. So basically, that's a win-win situation. As you can see, our mission is kind of double. First of all, we aim to inspire farmers, to inspire rural communities on new challenges, new opportunities. And it's there where communication is very important. And our communication people are very much involved in providing inspiring methods, inspiring technologies for communicating all the information that we have. Getting people inspired is one part, but really helping them in realizing their innovation project is another part of our mission, the second part of our mission. And it's there where our project management specialists come into place. And it's there where our project management specialists really help innovation consultants and farmers to really help get their innovative idea into really an innovation project. What we do on a day-to-day basis, that's what we call our power flower. It's not flower power. We have grown past May 68, so to say, but here you can see how really we can put into place our mission on a day-to-day basis. Starting from the left, we are constantly on the watch out to detect new challenges, new opportunities, new innovative ideas. We do that within the agricultural sector, but throughout the whole of the community as well. So the whole of the society really is an inspiration for us, which we can pass through to farmers. And that's by informing them. That's the second leaf of our power flower. We have different ways of informing and inspiring people about the new ideas, the new challenges that we detected. When farmers really want to start innovating and really are enthusiastic about innovating, then we start supporting them. And we do that, first of all, by connecting them to the right people. We facilitate co-creation. We help them really experimentally develop their idea, going through the whole of the development phase, through advice, but also through training, which advice is more on a one-to-one basis, whilst we also provide a lot of action-oriented innovation training for whole groups of people. These are the themes that we work in, because innovation is very broad, and being a rather small organization, it's necessary for us to focus on the right themes. You can see the three main areas of innovation, which basically are the main areas of sustainability. You see social innovation, economic, business innovation, and ecological innovation. And under those three big themes, we have identified 12 themes which really are important for us. But where we are at as our best as an organization really is in the cross-cutting innovation, where different challenges are being tackled through innovation initiatives. For example, when we work on farmer citizen cooperatives, rural farmer citizen cooperatives to produce sustainable energy, we work on social innovation, we work on business innovation, and we work on ecological innovation as well. And that's a specific, so to say, our specific area of play. Our biggest asset really is in those cross-cutting, those cross-pollinating ideas of innovation. Now let's say something about our network. 20 years ago, we started developing our own network. Nowadays, we would call it our own little AKIS. Throughout those 20 years, we have developed a vast network of, for example, about 60 organizations in Flanders with whom we cooperate on an almost daily basis. And in that network, actually, we as an innovation support service function as more or less of a communicator hub, a connecting hub, which allows farmers and rural communities to connect to that vast Flemish innovation and knowledge network. So that's where we are more or less, we can say we are the glue in that AKIS, but at the same time, we are the connector hub for individual farmers to enable them to reach all that information and all that knowledge that is embedded within that network. We connect them to a European network as well, because throughout the years, we have developed a vast number of European partners as well. And I will come back to that later in a very specific example. Finally, something to say about our funding of our organization. Since we are an NGO, we are very happy that about 1/3 of our funding, of the funding of our operation, is being paid by our structural partners. You can see, of course, Boerenbond, Landelijke Gilde, which are our founding father and mother, so to say. But we are happy that we have other structural partners as well. For example, SERA, which is a big holding of about 400,000 cooperatives who invest in our operation as well. We have KBC, which is the biggest Flemish bank, who, as a way of, so to say, corporate governance and socially oriented operation, they support us in our operation as well. As you can see, just 5% of our funding comes from our own economics, more or less economic activities, coming out through advice and training services. It is our idea to provide as much as possible support for free towards those farmers, those small entrepreneurs. As I already said, they don't have that much capital. So we don't to burden them too much financially in their innovation by sending them large invoices. Of course, we have to get our money somewhere, because up till now, we don't have any structural public funds for our operation. We hope that with the new PAC and the new rural development policy in Flanders, that can change, and that we hope to get more structural funds for that. But up till now, we have to manage by delivering projects, by submitting, developing, incubating projects, which we submit in more than 20 different EU and national programs. Up till now, we are every moment of the year active in about 50 to 60 projects. That has its benefits. As I already said, that really helps us to find the funding so we don't have to invoice those farmers for our supportive services. That also helps us to remain socially oriented because we can only get project money for those themes which are important for society and for which society through project programs is willing to invest. So that helps us to remain actual. But it's not all happiness with those projects. On the downside, we have to invest about 1/3 of our total workforce at every moment is being invested in developing and managing those projects. And of course, to be honest, that it would be very much better if that 1/3 or a large part of that could be invested really in supporting farmers with innovation as well, instead of filling out the administration, of writing down new projects, of developing, of finding new partners, etc., etc. But that's the way how it is. Now, those 50 projects are part of one, so to say, a big strategy, a grand strategy we have. And the different projects, different project programs have different places in that strategy. And I hope I can make that clear through a number of examples of the projects that we currently run. For example, the Liaison project. The Liaison project is a Horizon 2020 project that really helps us, together with our partner, to understand how multi-actor innovation partnerships can become successful. What are the elements of success for those partnerships? And those insights, that knowledge really helps us to improve our innovation, our role as an innovation support service. But Horizon projects can provide us other types of information as well. For example, the SKIN project, which is a thematic network project on short supply chain, short food supply, which really provides us with a lot of good examples, a lot of interesting knowledge from throughout Europe, which is being gathered in that Horizon 2020 project. Of course, vice versa, we are also putting in our knowledge in that thematic network. But of course, most of the projects that we deliver are not just about gathering knowledge, exchanging knowledge, it's really about implementation. And there we are very much strong believers in the operational group concept. Because there we can see that co-creation, multi-actor innovation really comes to its own right. And of course, at every moment, we try to run as much operational EIP, operational group projects as possible. For example, we currently run this project, it's called Sustainable Weed Strip, where we cooperate with not just researchers, but machine manufacturers as well, together with the farmers, of course, to develop a rather low-tech, innovative machine to place and wrap up anti-root canvas in organic fruit plantations. Because there we see that a lot of work in organic fruit plantations goes into fighting weeds. And with this low-tech machine, we really can help to reduce that workload and make organic fruit plantation, fruit farms more sustainable economically, for example. Another operational group, EIP operational group, is Agro Meets Nature, where we work together with nature conservationists, meat processors, as well as researchers and farmers to look into how we can produce high quality meat in the context of agricultural nature management and how we can valorize that. So that's another type of operational group. As you can see from the examples, in our operational groups, we don't just work with, so to say, the usual suspects, such as researchers. We also try to involve other stakeholders, like in this example, nature conservationists. And in other examples, you will see others popping up as well, because we firmly believe that they can add a lot of information, a lot of inspiration, and a lot of outside views in that innovative process as well. Another example, and there I think our European network comes to the benefit, is the Optiberry project, where we managed to organize an international consortium of researchers around the challenge that was, or the question, or the innovative ideas that were produced by just one farmer. There we have a German university, an English university, and a Flemish research center working together to tackle the challenges of that farmer on valorization of the residual biomass from their berry production. So there our European network really comes to the benefit. An example that we don't just employ the EIP operational group program for organizing operational groups, but that we successfully use other project programs to implement that operational concept of operational groups as well, is this one, the Klimaatploeg, roughly translated as the climate team, where we gathered a number of climate experts. We linked them with 6 dairy farmers to jointly test and demonstrate feasible, economically feasible climate measures on their dairy farms. This is being run through a rural development cooperation project in the Antwerp province. So that's technically nothing to do with the EIP operational group program, but it's being delivered to another rural development program type of program. Another example is Interac Food Heroes. There we bring together a number of farmers, food processors, as well as creative industries like marketeers, designers, IT specialists in a kind of a new operational group concept and a new type of operational group with those creative people really helping farmers and food processors to think out of their own box and to reduce the food losses in their primary production. So their co-creation, really co-creative processes with those creative people really helped us to develop ideas which upfront we even couldn't imagine of devising. And now we see that they really are very successful just because those creative people really put in a new spark of innovation, a new spark of creativity. Another interesting, very small but interesting example is our Aggro Stem project, where a number of do-it-yourself farmers work together with students, secondary students even, who are studying STEM, science, which is a study direction in Flanders, science, technology, engineering, and maths, to develop innovative low-tech solutions to tackle challenges that those farmers meet on a day-to-day basis. And here again, we see win-win situations. Those students get very interesting projects to work on during their study time. And really, they can see that how they can use the knowledge they've gained in their studies to really help tackling real life, real world challenges. And on the other side, farmers really are being helped by those students to tackle the technical challenges that they have met throughout their own do-it-yourself things and do-it-yourself development of those technologies. As you can see, we try to be creative with the way that we work and with the way that we fund our projects, our innovative processes and our operational groups as well. I hope this has been slightly inspiring for you. Maybe you have picked up 1 or 2 ideas that you can use. If that's the case, I'm very happy that I've more or less succeeded. I thank you for your attention, and now I'm very much open to all the questions that you might have. Thank you very much.